This video is sponsored by PalCardShows.com, North Carolina's premier show promoters. We're doing some Vegapunk today. I want to give a big shout out to everyone who was at Charlie's Collectibles in Raleigh. I met 5 or 6 people who were fans of the channel and actually knew me. They were like, oh, you're the Vegapunk guy. And they're like, I started playing Vegapunk from this, or I started playing this deck because of this. And so it was really cool. I met like 5 or 6 people, like Zen, Kevin, Josh, all of you guys. Great meeting you. I really appreciate it. It was awesome meeting. Now, with that being said, we had to do a Vegapunk video because we have yellow support. And yes, we are Vegapunk players. We are begging for yellow support for Vegapunk. And this card, it's not good, but we're gonna try it. It's not good, but we're gonna try it. That's the big emphasis on this card right here. It says you may trash one card with a trigger from your hand up to one of your opponent's rested leaders or characters other than Monkey D. Luffy cannot attack until the end of your opponent's next turn. Then it has a trigger that says KO up to one of your opponent's 4 cost or lower characters. Amazing trigger, amazing effect, but it's just not usable. Because of our leader effect, it says activate main, rest one of your Dawn, place an Egghead type at the cost of 5 or less in the top of your life or into play. This ain't Egghead type. This is Film, 7 Warlords, and Kuja Pirate. So this cannot be cheated out. It cannot be put out in any kind of way. So playing it as a 4 of is probably not the right choice, but we're going to do it today for the video because we're wanting to know if this is viable. Now, I think it could be viable as a 2 of in the deck. I think it could be viable in OP13 thanks to Stussy. The big issue with it is the fact that you have to trash a card from your hand, and Vegapunk already has issues with hand size. So on a 6-Dawn turn, we'll have to tap 5 for Boa, discard a card. So now we play the Boa, which is 1 card. We discard a card, which is 2 cards, and then we have 1 additional Dawn on a 6-Dawn turn to use leader effect, which will be a 3rd card out of our hand, not counting the fact that on our first turn we lost 1 card, and on our second turn we lost 2 cards. So that's 6 cards out of hand, out of the, 5 you start with, draw 1, 7 total, and maybe we took a life, so 8 if we didn't trigger that life out. You lose 6 cards. You're down to 1 card in hand and 2 life. It doesn't always work. And playing this on curve is not always the best because the only thing that you can really stop on a 6-Dawn turn is the leader and potentially some kind of rush option. But usually if you're playing this on a 6-Dawn turn, your opponent just played a 5-cost character. Now if they play a 3-cost, obviously you can freeze that down, but usually you just freeze down the leader instead. It's mainly here just for some testing because we need some new yellow support. The rest is just simple. Lilith, searching top 5. Bonnie, draw 2, trash 1. Edison, draw 2, trash 2. Frankie, playing out a life and drawing a card. Vegapunk being an amazing card. This card will actually cover. Look at the top 5, reveal 1 scientist type card with a cost of 5 or less other than Vegapunk and play it out as active. You just cheat out a scientist, which we run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 scientists total in the deck. And then if your opponent has 2 or less characters, trash 1 card from your hand. Another card that forces us to trash cards, but this cheats out 2 bodies on the board. This just stops an attack. And usually your opponent doesn't attack you anyway if you're Vegapunk, unless you're going into an aggro match. That's why I think maybe a 2-of could work because of those aggro matches, but even those, you could just win or fold really quickly. It's like either you get all the Namis and Luffys you need or you lose. Boa doesn't really have that place. You can also always just play S-Snake, but S-Snake does not, just look up Snake. Snake, the issue with S-Snake is that it only targets 6 costs or less. So one of your opponent's 6 cost or lower characters cannot attack until the end of your opponent's next turn. And it also has the same thing as Boa that does say other than Monkey D. Luffy. So yes, this card is interesting. It's usable, but it's not good. I'd much rather KO it with a Nami or KO something and draw a card with the Luffy. Then we have usual stuff again: Atlas, Shaka, Dareshi, Rayquaza, Please Save Me, Pythagoras, all those cards that if you need to go over, you can just pause on whenever we look at them because that's your job, not mine. I'm here to tell you just run a Vegapunk. You've seen the other videos on the channel at this point, and if you haven't, then you need to subscribe because you're missing out on so much good Vegapunk content because Vegapunk's just the guy. So we're going to take this for 3 matches today, getting you guys a YouTube video as it is a beautiful Monday. Let's subscribe, join the One Piece family in the Discord down below, and let's just play some Vegapunk. Right, we're going to take first away from Gekko Moria because they like to go first. It's not our perfect curve, especially knowing with this hand, especially we got to mulligan that pretty soon. We do get the bubble early. This is horrible. This is actually a horrendous hand, so we're going to play the Edison, draw 2. We will trash the Shaka and actually another Edison, and then pass to our opponent. So we're able to swing in for the big 7 here on the next turn and cheat out an Atlas. And as you can see, our hand size is already very small. That's a big issue with cards like this. The draw 2, trash 2 goes even. You go -1 from playing a character, but even in the draw, so you draw 2, trash 2. The Tempest Kick, drawing a card, filtering through the deck. They attach one Dawn to leader for no actual purpose. We could go Lilith to replace itself to keep our large hand size. They're only going on to a 4-Dawn turn. So I actually don't mind that because we can go Pythagoras and Atlas on the next turn. Going second is way more favorable, but they like to do things like that, so I'm kind of with it. They shouldn't have a way to cost reduce and cheat on Absalon, so our Atlas should be safe here. We will go with the Atlas. Look at the top 5. Brother, we've seen every Edison in the deck now, so we're gonna grab it. Pass. Simple and easy. 1, 2, 3, 4 Edisons total. We're limited on 2K counters after this. Once we use these guys up, we're basically cooked. We saw one of the Frankies. We only run 8 total 2K counters. Sure, I don't really know. There's also merit to not attacking with the Edison just yet, because we are going against a 5-life leader, and they can just attack into it, they can remove it, but then they could just remove it, so they got both sides. They could hit us with I think Perona hits for 6, if you have to have 6 or less in hand, so I guess they couldn't hit us with a Perona. Can't really do Absalon unless they have a 1 cost reduction, and Tim's Kick doesn't work because they don't have 10 or more cards in trash. So they're going to go 6 into Edison here. Looks like they may be cheating out. That is 5 or more cards in their hand. Oh, they're gonna play out Perona. That's pretty good. We're gonna have to trash an Edison and then counter with an Edison. We are going very low on hand size. Very low on hand size here. Here is where we're actually going to play the Boa on curve. Now, that might seem really weird, but we're going to stop the Gekko Moria from spamming bodies on the board, so they won't have the ability to do anything. That is the simplest way to put it. So we're going to go 5, we're going to go 5, and then we're going to tap all out for the Boa. We're going to force this Boa and see what we can do. Our hand size, again, is very limited, and we have not seen any Dareshis or Jewelry Bonnies. I think those cards are must if you're going to be playing these, so we're going to go with this. We're going to trash the... I think we go with the on KO because they'll have removal at this point, and stop the leader from attacking. The reason we got rid of this is because the Atlas is because we will have a lower life total for a while, but they can KO it by effects. If Pythagoras, on the other hand, is KO'd by an effect, it will still get the on play to play out a 4 cost or lower. We have 3 Edisons. We could have a Lilith eventually. We could have another Edison. We've had half our 2Ks already in the trash or whatever. So interesting stuff there. I'm expecting to see 1 Shaka in life this game because we haven't filtered over one that I remember. Because I much rather would have grabbed a Shaka than an Edison, so I would have grabbed that. What does our opponent do on a 6-down play? Now they could swing 5 into a character, in which we would probably counter out and then tap 6. The new Gekko Moria from PRB02. That's why we're playing against Gekko Moria, is because they have new PRB02 support. They're going to go 7 into Edison. You got that all day. There's not much I can really do about that, to be honest, so we're going to let that happen. Our opponent's going to play Kuzan. Kuzan's pretty good here. Gives minus on the board. We're going to go 7. I want the draw 2 trash one, but I really want to get rid of Perona as well. I think we go 7 into Perona, because I don't think they need to save it at this point. Because now we go 7 into face. They will have cost reduction and the leader attack. We get to draw 2, trash 1. Now we get to deploy this Luffy. We're actually going to go ahead and pop the Luffy to pop the Kuzan to draw a card, and then pass. Your go. They can remove our Lilith really easily. They can remove the Bonnie really easily. But we were able to remove their board effectively thanks to top decking that Luffy. That Luffy was clutch as heck. If they do decide to go wide somehow, we can Vegapunk, not have to discard cards. With having to discard cards, we're not going to be doing that anytime soon. We're going to see a Subaru here, -2 to the Boa, I'd assume. No, we're going to see it on the Lilith, so that is incorrect. I would do it on the Bonnie, and then swing into the Lilith unless they have removal for both. Maybe they double Subaru and then Rob Lucci, but Rob Lucci has to... No, Rob Lucci doesn't have to return CP. It can return anything. Granted, they have the CP actually in trash, I believe. Tempest Kick, 2 Tempest Kicks. Maybe all they need. Maybe they can remove both here. 6 into face. We actually are going to take this attack. And then it looks like they're going to play a 6-cost Gekko Moria. No, they're going to play a 4-cost from trash and then another 4-cost. So they're really just going to go wide on the board here, which is exactly actually what we need. So 6 into us, play Absalon, return 2 cards to the bottom of the deck, and then KO Lilith. I again would have KO'd Bonnie and then attacked into the Lilith there, so that was a misplay by our opponent. We're going to use the Frankie and draw card. We hit the other 2K counter, so now we have 1 2K counter left in our deck. We need to keep that in mind as we go forward. We can remove Absalon, we can do all the things we need to. There's just a issue where if we go Vegapunk into something, but we definitely need a Nami to remove Kuzan, right? So, because we can't Nami first, so we need to find a line without using Nami. We do have a Shaka in the trash. We can Nami the Kuzan, right? So I guess that just means we're not going to Vegapunk. So 1 Dawn to put Rayquaza in life, 5 Dawn to play Nami. We'll start with a 5K from the Bonnie. I think that's the best play. They shouldn't take this. We will have to go ahead and tap 5 so that we get the draw 1. We're going to drop the Pythagoras. No, we could drop the Vegapunk to KO the Kuzan. Now we'll get the Vegapunk. The rest of these not great. We are going to go another, now we're going to go 7 into face. We're going to get to draw 2, trash 1, and remove the Dareshi from our hand. So that's going to cycle, draw 2, trash 1. We still have the ability to actually play. We could play another Nami here. It's not the worst option, but I think putting Rayquaza in life is just better in case they were to split. So we'll add top of life. You ever misclick? You ever just click the wrong button? Because I've done that, and I just did it. But I think there's still not really a way we lose here on the Tindon turn. Our opponent's down to 1 life. They were taking 7k attacks, so that's kind of giving me a good spot, I feel like. We're in a pretty good spot. I really wish I would have put that Rayquaza on life, I'm not going to lie to you. Rayquaza would have been very nice sitting on our life right now. But it is what it is. It happens that way sometimes, right? We have to think about these things very long and hard. They could go 10 cost Kuzan, pop the Nami. Then they're only swinging 5 and then 5. We let the Bonnie go. We 2k or we 1k out of the Absalon attack with the Shaka. We put Rayquaza into life. Then we play out the Vegapunk from the life or from the trash. When we take the life, question mark. Gekko Moria. So they get 1 Rested Dawn, they get to play a Perona. The Perona has no effect. They can give -3 for the turn. No. If your opponent has 5 more cards in their hand, choose one of the following. Well, we don't, so it gets no effect. It just cheats out a body. They do get a Rested Dawn on the leader, so they could swing in for, what, 8, technically? Or they could go 6, 7. 6, 7! I hate that I said that. Also, if I did see at Charlie's Collectibles, we will have a video going up about actually setting up at the card show. So that's going to be pretty cool. They're going to go 6 into 5. I am going to 2K this. I would have gone 6 into 4, 7 into 5. That would have been better math. We would have countered out of the Frankie attack. We would have kept something on the board. Double attack Ryuma. Donde. 2K, 1K? Oh, wait, why did I 2K, 1K? Oh my god, dude. I'm so struggling right now. Why did I 2K, 1K? I just needed a 2K. I was thinking the 7. I really was thinking the 7 there. 7 into 4, you got that all day. That's fine. I don't even care at this point. They did things incorrectly. I countered it as if they did do it correct, I guess. They should have gone 6 into 4 and then 7. Well, I have plenty of extra Dawns, so we can just go 9 into face. They have no blockers up. We have the ability to gain a life and still use the Nami here, so we can remove the board and sit at a few life. We just remove the Ryuma, and we're in a good spot. 5, I think I'm just going to go all in. 8, 13k here. Should get us there with 6 cards in hand. 2k, 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 1k is what they would need. They obviously don't have it. 1k, 1k, 2k. So they would have had only 4k. They could have gotten out of a 9. We didn't have to commit that much Dawn. We could have swung 7 and seen how many cards they give us at that point. 7 would have been the correct choice because then we can actually still counterplay, playing the Nami to KO the double attack and still gain a life. Being the please save me, filter a card, have a 1k in hand. So it'd be 1k. We have the Shaka in life as well. I would like to say I did say we have a Shaka in life based off of what we saw. That is a fun thing with Vegapunk you can do, is sometimes predict what's actually in your life. But yeah, I think we were cooking that whole time. We just took them down. PRB02, Gekko Moria. Can't keep up with me, baby. Even with the misclicks and the misplays. This is a miserable matchup. I want that to be very known here. This match actually sucks butt. We're going to take second away from them, of course. And we're going to mulligan that hand. It's not that great. This is a lot better, though. What we could do is probably Pythagoras early. So we'll go ahead and deploy a card, Pythagoras pass. So now we can counter for the Pythagoras to save it later on. It's also a 6k body, so it gets through the Shanks effect. Either we need to do Shaka or Pythagoras going into the future turns, because now we can still leader effect and play a character on the next turn to really get a wide board. And we're doing a lot of anti-removal, which is going to be very important. So 6k is very important here. We're going to go 6 into the leader, see what they decide to do. If I'm Shanks, I think I just take. I think that's a good choice. We're going to go into Lilith. Look at the top 5. We're going to reveal a probably Atlas. Atlas is pretty good, but also so is Pythagoras, just helping with anti-removal and getting bodies back on the board. Do we have any 2Ks? We have one 2K, so we're fine there. We can't grab Lilith because Lilith can't grab itself. So I'm thinking we're going to grab Shaka. And then we're going to deploy a card. We're going to deploy another Pythagoras and then pass. So now if our opponent does want to swing into the Pythagoras here, they Building Snake Pythagoras, swing into it. We're going to counter 1 just to get another body on the board, right? So now he can swing 6 into 3. We're at 2 or less life, but we have no cards in trash. So if we counter, right, with the Bonnie, now when it dies, we get to cheat out the Bonnie. They have 4 Dawn. They could play a rush option, but I think that's still the best play there, right? That's not great for us. We're going to start with probably just a 7k into face. I think 7 into face is pretty good. See what our opponent decides to do. All right, they do take, so we will get a draw 2 trash one as long as you don't trigger and KO the Bonnie. I didn't want to commit additional Dawn to the Bonnie, so I'm hoping they didn't get something crazy that just pops it. They Mulgun, if you have a character with 6,000 power or more, KO one of your opponent's 2,000 power characters. That is such a stupid trigger. I want that to be known. Gum Mulgun is so stupid. It is so, and they did the wrong one. Oh, cool, thank you. Thank you for that. I really do appreciate you. We're gonna go ahead and trash the character there. I guess because we're gonna commit more Dawn if we do want to save ourselves. But I think we're just gonna rush aggro and then cheat out a Shaka. Shaka sounds like a good choice to me. This is a very hard matchup, guys. This is a very hard matchup to win. Now they have to leader effect and Shanks, so that's one card out of hand, which is not great. This gives a character minus 2,000. We have not seen any removal at the moment, which sucks. They also have Beckman here, Ben Beckman, so they can remove Pythagoras pretty easily on this next turn. So they -1 with leader, and then they Shanks effect and then just block, so it just gets them out of the attack. I believe that's how they did it. I'm not 100% sure. Now we're going to leader effect, deploy a card. We're going to go into probably Shaka here and then pass. That's going to force them into removing the Shaka more than likely. Because on a 7-Dawn turn, they swing 5 into 4 here. We 2k out. They swing 6 into 4. We block in 1k. So we can save the Bonnie. We would just have to swing pretty aggressively. Nope, looks like no worries here, actually. We're going to let Bonnie go if they're just swinging into it. I don't really care. I'd rather force them into the removal here. They go into the 6-cost Law, which is kind of good for us. Not the best. We're going to Dareshi. We're looking for a Nami. Nami would be pretty good right now. So we're going to grab the Nami for sure. We need to play something for 3 Dawn, so we will. That will lower our hand size. Not enough. Dang, that sucks. Well, hey, guess what? Deploy Nami. We're going to trash a Vegapunk, KO the Shanks so they don't get the free extra power. Have we already leader affected? We have. Sometimes I forget. We're going to go and force in 6 at our opponent here, forcing them to counter out, or we get a draw 2, trash 1, going back to even in hand size, so I'm kind of fine with that. I would love to see them go ahead and counter. I'll commit the blocker as well. I don't really mind at this point. I'm kind of worried about a Rayleigh. Nope, no draw 2, trash 1 here, but we have to swing out anyways against this match because now is when they start to take away the game. I'm not going to lie to you. We can't remove the Law. They start pumping out 8-cost, 9-cost characters, and they just take the game away at this point. This is the go time, show time, where you're going to see me start to gain a lot of life. That is how you beat this deck at this point. You have to start gaining a lot of life, where if they hit you, they lose. It forces them into having removal. They're going to go -3 on the Nami, -2 on the Bonnie, and pop the Bonnie. Now they have the ability to swing into the other characters. 7 into 4. We're going to let that go. And then they're going to go, will they go 6 into 6? That is the question. They choose not to, which I do think is correct. How do we spam out the board the most? 3, 5, 1. So we can swing 6 into our opponent, I believe. So we're going to start with 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. So we can go 7 into our opponent here. We, of course, cannot attack Trafalgar Law. That won't get us anything. And we need to start going a little wide. 3, look at the top 5. This would be amazing at the moment, stopping the Law from attacking, but we just don't have one in hand. We can grab Vegapunk for later. Pythagoras would be good to lay down as well, though. 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 1. I think we're going to go with Pythagoras, actually. Then we're going to tap 5 for Pythagoras. We're going to tap 1 to deploy a card because we can't get another life or we lose the Pythagoras that's on KO. So we're going to go in with the Shaka to get a blocker on the board and then pass to our opponent. So now if they want to go for lethal with the 3 characters, they can't. And they can't really control our board the same way because we have the on KO effects, right? So we can just play out a Lilith. If they want to KO the Pythagoras, we just play out Lilith. That's pretty good. We get to go +1 in hand size here. So we let Pythagoras go. We cheat out Lilith. We get to look at the top 5 and gain a card into our hand. We can go Rayquaza for the long term, the longevity of this game as it's looking. I also don't hate going with Vegapunk here because they're going to play down 1 more character, and that character is going to have some kind of removal. So they're going to go 5 into... Can't really go a free 5. You should 10 cost if you're going to 10 cost. If you're going to 10 cost Rush, you go 10 cost Rush. I think that's just the best choice. I also think if you're going to go 10 cost Rush, you would have just forced into face because at that point, you get me to 0 life. 8 into 5, you can have that for sure. They're going to play a 10 cost KO Shanks and KO our Shaka here, and then swing 5 into face, which we will have to probably counter. I'm not 100% sure, actually. Because if we block with the Shaka from the Shanks, they do go with a minus. So, question is, do we block this? I wish we had freaking Raigo. I'd just take this and then Raigo the Shanks. But we don't, and that's so stupid to me. We should have that card unbanned in yellow. This is a tough spot to be in. Because if we take, we get another body on the board. But then we can't Vegapunk. We can Rayquaza, gain a life, stuff like that. But we're not in the greatest spot. I feel like we have to block this. Have to block that, sadly. And then we're gonna have to 1K out of the Shanks attack. They choose not to attack with the Shanks. That's gonna be 5. 1 to play out Vegapunk. 1 for Rayquaza. No, 1 to gain a life. 4 additional Dawn. So we can go 6, 7. So we're gonna attack with the Pythagoras, of course, because that's gonna be a 6K in the face. And then we're gonna go 3, 4, 5, 1. I'm gonna go 7 with Lilith, because Lilith is the easier one to, or Lilith, either one. They're gonna -1 and 2K. We're gonna tap 5 here. We're gonna drop the, we already have a Vegapunk, so we'll drop the Luffy here, and we'll stop the 10 cost from attacking. Then we'll tap 1, and they swing board, KO. We'd have 1 character on the board. We get them to 0 life. We start gaining life. Yep, we're in the perfect spot here. Pass. This is where the game gets really interesting. Actually. So they go swing board, right? So 5 and a 4, you got it. Then they go 8 into the 6 here. We let them have it because we can't get the on KO anymore. Now they could go 7 in the face, but do they want to give us bodies on the board? Depends on if they're playing Rush Shanks or KO Shanks. That's really what it's depending on. If they can have some kind of removal here for the Nami, they'd be in a really good spot. They grab a Hongo, that's going to be a 2K counter into our opponent's hand. So it's telling me they're kind of low on the big bodies. They're going to probably choose not to swing us here. They do have the Beckman. That's tough. That is tough. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That would be 8K. They have 2 Dawn active. I don't think we're going to be able to Boa here. No, we have to Boa. So we have to swing 8. They have a Red Hawk either way. Because we could swing heavy and just go for outliving them. That would be an 8K because we're -1 from the Shanks. This would be Boa to stop Shanks. This would be Vegapunk to gain a life. I think we just go 8, but then they get out of it for free with a Red Hawk. They also get out of it for free with Divine Departure because that's -1. We want to get them to 0 life as soon as possible. I think we get them to 0 life and just gain a life. I really think we just get them to 0 life. I think that's the most important thing right now. Because if we just gain a life here, we're in a really good spot. No, we don't have a board, but we get to the point where our opponent can't attack us. They minus down the Nami and then KO it? No? Yes? Yes, no, maybe. I know this is going to look weird to a lot of people, because that is what this Shanks match is. You gain a lot of life where they just can't hit you, and that's cool. That is literally just the goal at that point. And then we need to start putting bodies on the board, so we're going to go add to top of life, listen, and pass. That's literally all you can do in this situation is get your opponent to 0 life, and then hope they don't have blockers, and then you hope you can somehow get a wide board, which we have the ability to do that with the Vegapunk here. And Boa Hancock, they could hit us here. We go Edison, we have to trigger it out to put a body on the board. We draw 2, trash 2. I think Boa is actually going to be important going forward. So I think we're going to hold on to the Boa. We're going to take this, use the trigger. We don't get the draw 2, trash 2 actually because we have 2 less life. Now we'll take this. We will use this trigger. We're going to cheat out a Vegapunk, which is going to cheat out a... They are going for lethal. Can they hit lethal here? They would have to remove the blocker and rush in. I don't think they can go for lethal. So we're going to get the Edison, draw 2. Are we worried about lethal? I don't think so. I think they're playing exactly into what we need them to. 7. Do we not just block this? We just block in case it's Goldie Roger. It shouldn't be because you would have played Goldie Roger first. 12. Use trigger, draw a card. That would have been nice to play out from the Vegapunk, the old Vegapunk. We were 1 card away from our Vegapunk. Now what? Do they have rush and swing Uta? That's about all you can do in this situation. They play Lucky Roo and then Shanks. And then 2 Dawn active for Red Hawk. So, deploy a card, Luffy. We have to trash the Lucky Roo, sadly. Lucky Roo, draw a card. We get Boa. So it'll KO one of our blockers. And then we just have to split. That's literally the only thing. Because if we KO the Shanks, they get to... We swing in big, they pop one of the characters anyways. Maybe this would have helped with the brick. No matter what, they block, KO a character. This at least gives us 3 attacks. The other one only gave us 2. So now we split with 3 characters, forcing their hand to be almost perfect. No, because they still KO a character here. I don't think there's a way we win now, because they had double blockers in hand. There is potential, because it would be, what, 5, 4? So it'd be 8. Red Hawk just gets out of it. There's no way. That sucks, dude. Frick. There's just no way. We could still play defensive here. We could have gone Boa into Vegapunk, gone into all that, yada yada, whatever. But if we don't have removal and they can get out of one attack, they just don't lose, right? So we just lose. That was a really hard fought match. They just block out of the attack and win. They didn't end up having the Red Hawk, but I don't know if there was a better line there. If we remove the Shanks and then we swing 8, I guess it depends on what's in their hand, actually. Let's just look. 1K. So they used the... No, they still would have lived because they had the 1K Trafalgar Law. So they would have had 1K to get them out of the attack. And we didn't really have a way to go defensive enough just because they had the double blocker. But that's what we had to do in that situation, honestly. We had to go for it. GG's to the Shanks player. That is, like I said, a very hard match. We're going to play one more match here for you guys. That was a hard Shanks match. The boa was kind of clutch. I actually don't hate this boa so far. And we're gonna take on a Charlotte Pudding here. They're gonna take first, we get second. We are gonna mull again. We could play the Bonnie. I don't think the Bonnie's gonna do work in this match. We're gonna mull this pretty early and then decide to go where to go from there, I guess. Deploy 1 to play out Pythagoras pass. So our opponent's gonna go perfectly into their 3-Dawn turn, into 6, into 10, and then start burning life. So we're gonna take life very aggressively in this match. Very aggressively. Trigger that out, draw a card, perfect. Let's get a body on the board, draw another Frankie. We're cooking up. We're cooking up good. They're gonna Zeus. We're gonna have no bodies to cheat out. That's tough. That's tough. That hurts. So we're going to go and swing 5 into our opponent. They already took their own life, so they don't want to take any more. So they will have the face down life after they play the Katakuri and then attack with leader. That's pretty good for our opponent. We're going to tap 3 to play Bonnie. We're going to tap 1 to deploy a Shaka and then pass to our opponent. So we're putting out a wide board early. The Bonnie's going to let us draw 2, trash 1 very soon. The Nami will not hit the Katakuri, and the Nami is just not really good in this match in general. This category right here gets them an active Dawn. Then they're going to ramp another Dawn. So they're going to go into 10 Dawn on the next turn. We're going to block and 1K with a Nami because we don't need the Nami, like I said. This will get us back up in hand size anyways. We're going to go ahead and go 5 into our opponent. We know we don't have to deal with triggers here, which is very nice. It's a 1K and then a 0K counter. We're going to go 7 into face. We're just going to apply pressure as soon as possible in this match every single time. Draw 2, trash 1. Can't do much about we can't do the Vegapunk just yet. The Nami also doesn't do much for us. I guess we could Vegapunk. We'll go 8 in face as well, really forcing our opponent down in life early. And then we're going to go deploy 1 card, Vegapunk. Look at the top 5. We're going to grab a Shaka, choose no cards, and we're going to trash the 2K counter. We shouldn't need that many 2K counters. We're already at a great spot. Pass to our opponent. We're applying pressure. We're doing the things we need to do to beat this match. Now, we weren't able to take as aggressively as I'd like because now we just lose the life. Or they 9-land. Do they heal us a life? They do heal us a life here as well. So they should go 6 into 4. You're going to go 7 into 5. We're going to let that go every single time. Then they're going to go 6 into 4. And I'm going to block because I'm just built different. That's how I am. I'm just built different. 6 into 4. I'd rather save this than the 5K, to be honest. I'll attach the extra Dawn. I have the extra Dawn to attach, so why would I not? You know what I'm saying? We're going to go a simple little 5 into face, and then we're going to go 7 into face to draw 2, trash 1 if we can. Draw 2, trashing 1, probably trash the Nami if we can. We're not able to, but that's okay, because we can go Boa, trash the Edison, stop Charlotte Linlin from attacking, and then tap 1, deploy Edison, trash these 2, pass, your go, you got it. Now they're going to 10 land, yep, trashing the Shaka, getting off of our board. That's pretty smart there, but they're still not going to be able to go for lethal, so they have to go into board here. They're going to go 5 into 4. We are going to let that go, because then they're going to go 7 into 6. We need to keep the 6 as much as if we can. 7 into 6, we're going to counter, and then see what our opponent can do, see what we can do here. We're going to go 1, 3, 1, and then 7 into face. See if they decide to take here. They do, so we get to draw 2, and then trash 1. It looks like probably just 9 into Katakuri. I think that's the only option now. 9 into Katakuri. Now we're having to do the opposite of the game plan. We're going to have to actually add top of life. We're going to have to gain probably the Atlas. Because then if they trash it, we just get cooked. Or if we trash the 2K, we get really cooked. They have 3 attacks here. They could go Zeus, pop the Shaka, right? They're going to go 5 here. We're going to let that go. They're going to go 9 here. We're going to let that go. They're going to go 12 face. We're going to take that. And sounds fine. Ooh, no 12 face. That's really good for us. We don't have rush, which is the issue with this deck right now. I think that's the issue that I found with this deck profile. But we have a really bad match in a pudding. We need to get to 0 life as soon as possible to get that last body out. And we just weren't able to do that. They weren't attacking us directly. So what we should have done is probably just not attack them in the same way. But it's hard to say. It's a weird spot to be in for sure. This match is, it's yellow, dude. Yellow on yellow action. Vegapunk just really does not do good into yellow. If you haven't figured that out. They're going to grab a Katakuri here, a 2-cost Katakuri. We already know they have a Katakuri in hand, so they can... Oh, they zero costed it away earlier. So they grab a Brûlée here. That's going to be 3. So 2 for Katakuri to play out Katakuri, and then 3 for Brûlée to play out a blocker. 1 for Nanane. We should talk about this. What's the definition of cooked? This. This is the definition of cooked right here. We're going to grab a... Shoot. Boa Hancock. We can't double Boa Hancock. And a Pythagoras. Sure. Why not? 5 in a face. So we draw 2 trash 1, or will they just block? They should just block one of these. Honestly, you should just block both of these. Just don't give us the draw 2 trash 1, because they know we can't commit the blocker anyways, or we would just lose. We need to go 5, trash this, stop the 10 cost from attacking, tap 1, add to top of life, Pythagoras, pass. That's about the only way we don't die right now. Because we have no cards in hand, they have 1 card in hand, they have 3 blockers, we have no blockers. So, not in the greatest spot. They can go 5 and a 4, just clear it out. They're not going to do that. Interesting. So we're going to take and use the trigger. They're going to go 8 in the face. If they top deck to 10 cost, or they're going to go all the way in with, they're going to split with the 2 characters. So that would be 6 and 6. So we would need a 2k counter because we'll have to block one of these. Take, no trigger. They top decked the 10 cost. Are you serious? That's so stupid. That is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. They top decked the 10 cost. The worst part is it's not over. It ain't over yet. 5 at face. Just wait. This ain't over yet. You don't know me, son. You don't know me, son. They can block out of all these to stop our draw 2 trash 1, which is actually okay, because then we can go for lethal on the next turn, potentially, hopefully, maybe. 6, 7, 6, 7. Do they take this one, or do they keep the blocker? It's up to you. I'm actually fine with that. Boom, bam, bada bop bop, pow. Guess what? Shaka off the top. That's the only way we do it. If you attack my board, it's gonna screw it. That's messed up, man. I don't like that he's doing this, but that is the smart thing to do here. Because it's like, what's going to even happen? We don't have rush anyways. Why would I? Edison doesn't do anything. Bonnie doesn't do anything. It's going to get off the board anyway, so we might as well get it on play. Draw 2, trash 2. Sure. Only thing we're going to have is our blocker anyways. And then 12. Dude, this game is miserable, dude. What the heliante? And then they get to restand their whole board. We top deck another Dareshi. Sure, we'll take that as well. We're going to tap 5 here for Vegapunk. That's going to cheat out Lilith. Lilith is going to look at the top 5 and grab us a Rayquaza? We can't even attack 6 because they just block out for free. Pass. They know our entire hand, technically. This game's never going to freaking end, dude. It's never going to end. It's just not going to end. Sure. Use trigger. Where's our guy at? Where? I swear I saw... There he is. I swore I saw one. Sure, we'll go into Atlas. So now, if they got another 10 cost, dude, I might be pissed. We would have to have 5 bodies on the board at the end of this turn, though, and it's just not possible. It is literally, physically, mentally impossible to do that. Because they have a blocker, they have 4 life, right? So we have to get through every single attack, have no triggers happen that just beat the game. At this point, dude, we're just freaking cooked. We're just cooked. Like, there's nothing we could do. There's nothing we could do here. I do think the Bonnie's done some work. I actually don't hate the Bonnie. The Boa has done some work here. I really don't hate it so far. We're gonna block. We'll take the next one. Trigger out the Vegapunk. Yes, we'd be punished by a 10 cost here, but we just have to hope they don't have it. Bro, I was about to say, there ain't no way. There ain't no way you got one. Oh my gosh. 5, 1, 8 in the face. That's all we needed. That's all we needed, bro. Because there's no point in swinging 7. They just have the Katakuri to block out. So now we're gonna tap 5. We're going to tap 1. We could go 8 with Shaka here, but I think we would just lose, even because they have the 3k. So we're going to pass. Guess what? What you going to do now, buddy? Bro, there's no way. There's no freaking way. There's no way. There's no way, dude. I'm going insane. 5 in the face. Guess what? Take. Use trigger. Who are we going to cheat out? This guy. Guess what? He's going to cheat out. This would be nice to find. This guy. Alright, they're going to have double blockers this turn, bro. That's absolutely absurd. Block out of this attack. Take. Use trigger. Guess who we're going to cheat out? Is there a way to win on this turn? No. Yes. Yes. Oh my gosh. Wait a minute. They can't attack anymore. So we just cheat out a 6k. Because we have to go for game here, right? Blocker, blocker. We have to hit 3 times. They have to be able to not counter 1 attack. Because they can't attack this one. They have a 10 cost and non-active. I think we can win, potentially. It just depends on what they get out of life and how they choose to play it. Because if you just take, block, counter, we lose. We lose. We're cooked. Oh, frick. 7 in the face. They should take. Yep. So now what we're going to have to do here is tap 4 for Edison. Draw 2. That didn't work. There's no way. This is the only line now because we didn't find one. We didn't find it. That sucks. We needed to find a Nami on that search, but we know we whiffed on 3 of them earlier. So there's almost just absolutely no way. Now that they have 3 blockers, you just lose. Because we needed a Nami to KO the Katakuri, because they have the Katakuri. So now we just swing 6, swing 6, swing 6, swing 7. It's just GG's at that point. 6, 6, 7. You win. They would have countered. They had 5k counter. So even if we did have a way to remove the Katakuri, we were splitting between 5 total characters, so it was like, what, 7, 8, 8, 8, 8, 7, something like that. So we would have lost in either way, even with a Nami there. That was GG's, bro. That was a hard-fought match. That was good games there with the Boa. I will say the Boa did a lot more than expected here in the Vegapunk deck, so it may actually have some kind of place. I did feel like it really did hurt our hand size very often when we did play it, but it also really helped in certain matches like that Shanks match. I thought it actually did work, even though we did end up losing. That is just a very losing matchup, usually a 30% win rate. Pudding being very similar in win rate, I think we actually put on a good performance against that match because you can see how those matches go if someone plays properly. Our opponents were just all really skilled pilots today. I was really excited to take them on and be able to use this. So hey, I hope you enjoyed this Vegapunk video. Let me know if you're testing out Boa in your deck list. I'm really just craving more Vegapunk support before OP13, but in a month we're going to be testing a lot of OP13, so I hope you're ready. A lot of good things are coming around to the channel, to many other things. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.